Well, it's Monday morning, July 8th. It's straight up 8 o'clock. I'm at Occoquan Reservoir, my favorite place to fish. The bass bite I was hoping would be on this morning. We got mostly cloudy skies and a flat calm on the water. But it rained so much overnight. In fact, it rained on me getting in the boat this morning. I think the weather's got the bass shut down a little bit. It's supposed to get really hot from about noon until about 1:30 or 2 o'clock, so I'll try bass fishing again then. But this is why I always bring my fly rod to the lake, because if you can't get bass, you can still get bluegill. Nope, there you go. This is a little peewee guy, but that's an example of what you can do with a fly rod when the bass fishing is slow. You can catch bluegill all day long. And I'm just throwing one of my favorite trout lures, which is just a brown elk hair caddis. This is about I don't know, maybe a size 12. This is just a great all-around fly, and it's great for bluegill. Well, another great thing about fishing for bluegill is you can catch them in open water, you can catch them up on the shoreline, you can get up under trees. I see them all the time out here in open water busting on flies, but I've had the best luck right over here along this bank, so we'll try it right over here. This is my new 4-weight Orvis rod that I just got that I absolutely love it. I've been throwing a 5-weight before this, and I bought a 7-weight recently for bigger bass bugs. But this 4-weight casts a little trout rod like a dream. I absolutely love it. Alright, we'll get right along these trees here. We ought to be able to get something. Somebody took it. There's a little minnow picking at it. Oh, got him. Took him for a ride. Poor guy. Still on there? I can't see if he's still on there or not. Yep, he's still there. Just about the time I went to make a back cast, this guy picked up my fly and went for a ride. That's maybe the littlest fish I've ever caught right there. In fact, that is a new record. Absolutely. Smallest fish I've ever caught. You probably had to sneak up on the fly to be able to hit it. The only thing I'm still having to get used to with this 4-weight rod is I'm using a real light tippet, and it just, every time I catch a fish, it gets all kinked and curled and out of shape. There's one. That's a little better one. Not much better, but a little better. I guess my favorite spot up here, I may get out my 7-weight rod with the big foam beetles and go for a bigger bluegill, because I usually catch bluegill out of here that are as big as my hand, and I got big hands. Let's try and get it way up in there. There we go. Yep. One thing about bluegill, they're famous for nibbling. They'll come up and just peck at it and not take it the first time. Even with a little bitty fly like that, they'll come up and just peck at it. And especially when I put on one of my bigger foam beetles on my 7-weight rod, they may come up and hit it 3 or 4 times before they actually take it in their mouth and try to eat it. And this summer we had a real big cicada hatch. I got to see them do the same thing with real live insects. They'd come up and hit it once or twice and then pull it under and then eventually get around to, there we go, get around to eating it. Oh, got a little mess of them right in there. Yeah, there's a bunch of bluegill beds right there. You may not be able to see them on camera. There's a bunch of, there we go. Bunch of bluegill beds right in there, all packed up together. Look like moon craters. That's a little bit better one. Still this tiny one though, just tiny, a little bitty. All right, we're back after a short break. I had to cut a knot and retie it. Had to cut it again, retie it again. As I said, one of the drawbacks of fishing this very light tippet is when you get a wind knot, it tends to be a mess. And a lot of times it's just easier to cut it and start over. One of the similarities of all kinds of fishing is having to manage your line. And with, there's one, with this really fine tippet, it's, any knot becomes a real headache. That's just another little baby. We are going to slowly make our way up the coast here to one of my favorite spots where I know we can get into some big bluegill. We got to keep an eye on the weather. We're supposed to get rain off and on all day, including thunderstorms. But just a half mile up around this corner, at the other end of the lake, is a little highway bridge so I can get under if I have to. It's very convenient. Another problem with fly fishing in the boat is you get all this line underfoot and trip yourself up.